coffee, guys? I'm just waiting for my water to boil. Okay, so we talked about it last night, and we decided we were going to. Hello, my Miss Kathy, darling. I love thee. So we decided we're going to get together this morning, and we're just gonna open chat. We got our coffee. We're gonna hang out. We're gonna talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. I know a lot of you want to talk about IBS this morning, so we're gonna talk a little bit about the poop today. And then whatever else you guys want to talk about, because we're just gonna hang jammies. It's jammy party, coffee morning jammy party. Let's do a dance party later in the afternoon when I'm dressed and I'm feeling all like dance. I think we still need to do our caramel pecan. We have not done our pecan yet. We're gonna make a brittle, so I think we need to maybe do that today. And my guy's working all day, and it's my weekend off from my brother, so we get lots of time to hang out together today. So if you guys have something you want to start with chatting about, or any questions, we can start there. I'm gonna pour my coffee into my pretty mug. I love this mug. I bought this one when I went to Keto Valley Fest. And the lady there had a booth, and she had so many awesome keto things. I love this one. And I won't lie to you guys, I have spoken with her about making us our own custom merchandise. So if there's something particular you guys want in cups and stuff, I've talked to her about making us stuff, like colorful keto with jewelry, some really awesome, fun keto unicorn stuff. So if you guys have any ideas about that, shoot them my way. I did also talk to her, guys, about the giving plate. Remember the one I got at the church sale, the Christmas one? Let me grab it to show you. Hang on, let me see where I put it away. I don't know. Okay, I don't know exactly where it is right off the top of my head. I'll have to show it to you guys when we do in the later live. But it's a treat plate that you're meant to fill and give as a gift, and then they're meant to fill it again. So it was a Christmas platter idea, and I'm speaking with her about doing up something that would be similar but for keto treats. So something that would include 2 or 3 treat recipes in the middle of a charger plate that you could make up the recipes and give the plate as a gift. So we're looking at doing something like that, because I think, wow, wouldn't that be an amazing way to give our friends and family health and love and amazing food for holidays, for birthdays, and it will just have, you know, a couple easy fat bomb recipes that you can make up and then gift the plate, and they can do the same. They can make up the recipes and then gift the plate. So we're looking at something like that. I think it would be a super awesome, cool idea. That's in the list of things that are up and coming. Also, we're going to do a week in Vegas. So I just decided to do it, guys. Like, nobody's planning anything in Vegas except for what we decide to plan to do together. I really want for Vegas to be somewhere where we can do meet and greets, because it's cheap for everybody to go to, and it's fun. There is so much good stuff to do in Vegas, and really to be able to do those things and eventually plan them on a large scale, you start small and you go and you meet people and you make connections. And I intend to, you know, meet the bars, coffee shops, restaurants that follow me, any of the salons, spas. I want us to do a spa day. But I want to just be able to go there, be there for the week, and whoever wants to come in that time, you're welcome to come down anytime in those 7 days that I'm there. And I'm going to plan a variety of different events with local Vegas groups. So we have a lot of our keto family is in Vegas, and we're going to plan some events locally. But if you guys want to come, it's literally the cheapest week to fly, and that's why I picked it. I won't lie, I did my research, and I wanted for it to be as economical as possible. For me, coming from Canada, my return flight, so there and back, including all of the taxes and the fees, cost me $350 to go to Vegas for the week. Now, I will pay my hotel accommodation on top of that, but I'm Dory and I'm totally cool traveling like a college student and going on the cheap. So I'm going to do my trip for $500 plus spending. You know, there's expensive ways to go to Vegas and there are cheap ways to go to Vegas, and I a cheap mommy. Like, I a frugal mommy. I like to enjoy the experience, but I don't have to, you know, I don't have to be in the best hotel to have a good time. I plan to stay just off Fremont Street where it's cheap. It's walking distance to where I want to go. And really, I just want to go there and be there. So if you guys want to go and you want to meet me in Vegas, I'll be there for a whole week. I will arrive late the evening, March 26th, which is a Tuesday. And I'll be leaving early morning the Tuesday. So technically we'll only be able to do things till Monday night. But that's 6 whole days that we can get together. Well, hello, Brightly. It's nice to see you on Instagram. And yeah, I think we're just gonna, you know, I'm going to do it on the cheap and just have a really good time. I think Jessica Link from Ketogenesis is going to meet me on the weekend, and we're going to do some weekend events, and I'm just going to get together with all the groups, and I have a girlfriend who's going to help me next week, and she's going to help me set up a proper schedule so that as events fill in, you guys can follow along with the schedule, because we're 4 months out, right? So we're not going to have a lot of major details yet. Miss Christina! She's one of the groups we're going to do an event with at the Health Hustlers. If you guys have not checked out their Facebook group yet, you need to. We have so much fun hanging out, and girl, I love your group. We have so much fun, and I can't wait to meet you. I don't know what we're going to do yet, but we're going to plan something with the Health Hustlers, maybe a lunch or a coffee or, you know, a meeting in a park, something. Everything we're going to do is going to be totally accessible to you guys. If you want to come, you can hang out. And there'll be a variety of things. Some things, you know what, we may spend some money and go shopping. I'd really love to do a nickel slot night where we kind of cruise down Fremont and just, you know, pop into different casinos and hang out a little bit here and there and, you know, cruise the strip and dance and have a lot of fun. But I want to do a spa day. I'd like to do a few restaurant reviews when we're there, because I have reached out to a few restaurants and bars, coffee shops in Vegas, and they're really interested in having a group come and do a review and see, you know, what's on their menu that's available for us. What options do they have? Because you know what, guys, as keto sweeps the world, more and more businesses want our business, right? They want to know, what can we eat? What will we buy? If they provide it, will we come? And Vegas is the hub of everything. Like, if it starts in Vegas, it will bleed through the rest of the world. So I say, let's change the world, babies. Let's go to Vegas. Let's have some fun, and let's just keto it up for the week. And you know what? I'm just open to meet everybody, hang out, you know, answer questions, just dance, just have fun, you know. I'll give out free hugs. I love free hugs. Free hugs are totally awesome. Ooh, yes, chat with them, Christina. If Keto Connect would love to come, that would be awesome. And I could again apologize for calling Maja to her face, because I'm Dory and I'm smooth like that. I still love her. I think we might not be friends, but I would love somebody who pronounced my name wrong. I'd be like, what? So yes, we're going February 20. I think I should actually check the time on the actual flights for you guys so that I can see. I have times and dates posted too, and I have all my reminders set, so I certainly won't forget. But let me just double check for you guys, because I keep, is it the 25th, 26th? Originally I was going to leave on the 27th, and that's the Wednesday, so I want to say it's the 26th. Okay, so yes, I will arrive at 6 p.m. Tuesday, February 26th, and I will leave Vegas at 6 a.m. on March 5th. So 2009. We're 4 months out, so you guys do have time to plan if you want to come. And if you're Vegas local, like Christina and like The Real Beast Mode and Alina, if you're local, then it's going to be super easy for us to meet up and do stuff. And I'm super excited because I love Vegas. Like, I literally love everything Vegas. Oh, that would be awesome. I do really love them. I love their recipes, and they're so fun. And they have the cutest dog. Just saying, I love dogs. Guys, show me pictures of your dogs and your cats. Just saying. I really, really love it. So, where do we want to start this morning, guys? What do we want to chat about this morning? Do we have anything else that we want to cover? Or do we just want to jump into the wonderful, wild world of IBS? Because I know everybody wants to talk about that today. In that, I would say, I think I coined a brand new phrase last night. Christina, I'm not entirely sure where I'm going to stay yet because I haven't booked my room. But it'll be somewhere just off Fremont because it's reasonable and I prefer Fremont Street to the main strip. So I'll be just off Fremont. Last time we went real college style and we stayed at the hostel, which totally didn't bother me. So I won't lie, I'll probably likely do that again. It's cheap, it's fun, and I met lots of really fun people at the hostel when we stayed last time, and I know that sounds weird, but I'm totally cool with traveling. It's $15 a night. So, and how much time do you spend in your room? Maybe 4 hours. I'll sleep for maybe 4 hours a night and get up and go again. Ooh, Christina gets a discount at the Grand. I do love the Grand. My favorite hotels are, if anybody has any connections, by the way, at my favorite hotels, my favorites are the D and the Four Queens and anything right on Fremont Street because I really like Fremont Street. Ooh, you work at Zappos. I love it, love it, love it. Okay, so Karen would like to talk some about constipation. Now, I would say a lot of people, when they start keto, it's either or, right? Like either they deal with constipation or the runs. And it's because your body's adjusting. The best visual that I can think of for you guys is if you're pet owners, if you have a cat or a dog, and say, for example, your vet says you need to change your pet's food, would you go out and just buy them a brand new bag of food and start feeding them that? You wouldn't, because they would get the runs and they would be sick all over your house. You would buy the new food and you would slowly start incorporating it into their diet. So you would start by adding a quarter of the new food and then half of the new food and then 3/4 until you were slowly easing over to the new food. And people are no less complicated with how our digestion works. If you wake up Monday morning and say, okay, today I don't have any carbs, I don't have any sugar, I don't have this, I don't have that, nothing, and you change everything about what you eat, that's going to happen to you. You're either going to get the runs, you're going to get the keto flu, you're going to find yourself constipated because you're literally changing everything in your body at one time. Now, I personally recommend, and the way that I did it, is I slowly eased out of my sugar and carbs. So I didn't wake up Monday and say, that's it, I never have another carb. I just slowly started easing them out of my diet. I ate less, I had less, until I eventually wasn't having any bread, I wasn't having any wheat, I wasn't having any rice, but I slowly transitioned those things out so that I didn't get sick. Now, if you're past transition phase and you still are constipated, there can be a couple reasons. One, you might not be getting enough magnesium. You might not be getting enough fluids. You might not be getting enough potassium. A lot of people will take a magnesium or potassium supplement. Natural Calm is a really good one. I use that to mix into my Ketorade as well. So if you're drinking a little bit every day, that helps. If you need a large dose to help you poop, you want to have that around the time you want to go. Like, don't be taking that at bedtime or, taking it in the morning as you're heading out to work, because it will work for you. If your constipation is caused by eating off plan, that has happened to me. At Christmas time last year, I thought I would be okay to eat regular cookies and I couldn't poop. And for the first time in my life ever, that happened to me, and a panic overcame me like I can't explain to you. Like, it's painful. It's uncomfortable. And what I did to deal with that is I made a flax muffin. So if you guys go look on my YouTube channel, I'm wearing this house coat in that video, and my panic was very clear. And I made a quick chocolate chip flax muffin, and I ate one of the muffins because I made it in 3 pieces, so 3 servings. I ate 1 or 2 of the little muffins. I drank a lot of water, and 20 minutes later, I was golden. So flax can be your best friend. You just might not be getting enough good fiber. Nuts, seeds, they make great fiber. All of your crunchy veggies, great fiber. Make sure you're getting enough of that. If beyond those things you're still having constipation issues, I would definitely consult your doctor. And I want to talk about that next because, okay, color me stupid, but I didn't know that IBS was really a thing. Like, I'd seen the commercials and people are like, oh, it's uncomfortable, but I didn't know. And this is going to sound really dumb to you guys. Okay. I didn't know that most people don't like cry and throw up when they poop. Like, I didn't know. It had always been that way for me. As long as I could remember, when I look back as far as I can in my memories, it just was always like that. If I ate something within 20 minutes, I had to go to the bathroom, and it was bad. Like, it was bad. It was rolling cramps that are so bad, it's sitting with the garbage can on your lap because you're gonna throw up because the pain is so intense that the waves of pain literally cause you to throw up. And I never talked to my doctor about it. I never told anybody about it because again, color me stupid, I didn't realize that's not just how it was supposed to be. Like, it just always had been that way for me. So I didn't realize, that it was really a problem. I mean, duh, it's a problem. You don't process food in 20 minutes. There's no nutrient value comes out of your food in 20 minutes. I don't know how I didn't die. That's probably how I got so fat, because the only thing that would absorb out of your food in that time would be the sugars and the carbohydrates that you would absorb immediately. But I wouldn't have been getting any actual nutrient dense value from any of my foods in 20 minutes. But I never thought it was a thing. So I never sought medical treatment for it. And I know a lot of people think, oh, IBS, okay, so you get upset stomach and, maybe you get the runs. Big deal. What do you mean you can't go out tonight because you have IBS? Clearly you just don't want to hang out with me and you're not my friend. But you don't understand. Like, if you go out in public and you put a piece of food in your mouth and you are not home within 20 minutes, you're screwed. Like, what happens at home can't happen in public. And mostly because people think something's really wrong with you and they call security. Just saying, that's what happens. When you sound like you're dying in public, people assume you're dying in public and they call security on you. And you're like, but I'm just pooping. Like, I swear I'm not killing anyone in here. I'm just trying to go to the bathroom. Oh, I actually heard, as horrifying as it is, that there was a story that happened to a lady in a hotel in Vegas, that she was at a hotel, she was having a terrible bout of irritable bowel, and somebody called security and insisted she was in there doing something that she wasn't supposed to be doing, and they burst in, they hauled her out, they kicked her out. Like, it was ugly, and she was just some poor old lady who was, stuck in the bathroom with really bad IBS. Oh, yes. Brenda says waiting in line at the bank or at the post office when you have IBS is the worst because you can feel it. Like, that's going to happen. Like, you can feel that gurgling in your stomach and it's brewing, and you already know there is no way that you are avoiding that catastrophe, and nobody wants that to happen in public. So guess what? You don't go anywhere. You just don't. You literally don't leave your house because IBS controls your life. If you go somewhere, something bad's going to happen, so you don't go. You don't. Like, back then, I could never drink coffee. If I had I would have 1 cup of coffee only on Sunday, only if I didn't have to leave my house. And if I had 2 cups, I was crying for 3 hours. Like there was no way around that. Hello, Miss Carol and Miss Karen. Karen said, I did a saltwater flush this morning. Oh my God, I'm still on the toilet. Love you, lady. Love you. I've never done any of those kinds of flushes or cleanses to see. Oh yes. Oh my God, Brenda, dating. How do you date? This is my question, okay? How do you date when you have IBS? Because how do you plan all of your dating schedule around any time you would ever eat or ever have to go to the bathroom? Because I'm just going to put that out there and say, who wants to date that? Like, and it's terrible. If you guys have never experienced, it is bad. And you do literally smell like you're dying as well. And, you know, some people are very colorful about their comments about that. Mega flush going on over at Karen's house. Oh my God, I love it. I love it. Did you get you some Poo-Pourri? I love that commercial. If you've ever seen the Poo-Pourri commercials, I love them. And actually, JP Sears, who's my favorite, if you guys don't know who he is, he's hilarious. I think my favorite video of all time is Coconut Oil is Trying to Kill You. He, the other day, posted a post. The lady who created Poo-Pourri has a brand new shampoo body wash product, but I laughed because it was JP Sears in a bikini, and it was hilarious. It was like the funniest post I've ever seen, and I would have reposted it, but I know some people would be offended by it, and I don't want to offend anybody by what I think is funny, but I think it's hilarious. I personally, I'm just going to put it out there, and I think JP Sears in a bikini is hella hilarious. I'm just... I'm just thinking about the picture. Oh, I think you guys need to go on his page and look it up. Oh, okay. So Karen wants to know, is IBS lifelong? For me, it was. For me, it was something as far back as I can remember, I had IBS. Now, I'm going to hold up my hand for you guys and say, I do not have IBS anymore. Ever, ever, ever. This is not an issue in my life anymore. 2 things helped me with my IBS. My surgery, oddly enough, as weird as that is, when I had my stomach surgery, there was obviously something wrong. There was something wrong. There was something sick in my stomach that wasn't functioning properly. When I had my surgery, some of the symptoms of my IBS stopped. Some of them, not all of them, but some of them. The pain, the throwing up, that stopped. I was plenty happy to have that. I really was like, you know what, if I have the runs for the rest of my life, I can live with that. I don't have cramps and I don't throw up when I go to the bathroom. I don't cry for 3 hours when I go to the bathroom. I'm okay with that. I can live with that. But once I started eating keto on a regular basis and my body became adapted, that part went away too. So now we're gonna get a little bit gross, and we're gonna talk about if your poo does not look like a soft banana, there's something wrong. If it's harder than that, or if it's softer than that, there is something wrong, and there's something going on there, and that's the bottom line. If it's more or less than right down the middle, soft banana, there's something going on, and then we need to look at, is it inflammatory things that you're eating that are bothering you? Keep a journal, as gross as it sounds, dude. Keep a poop journal, you know, and note, when I eat this happens. When I eat that happens. Because it may be, you know, 1 or 2 ingredients that are flaring you up that you don't realize you're eating on a regular basis. Like, for example, peanuts. Peanuts might be really inflammatory to you, but you don't eat them regularly enough to realize, oh, when I have peanuts, or when I have peanut butter, or when I have products that may contain peanuts, I flare up. So eliminating the inflammatory ingredients with keto, I think for the most part, will help most of us right off of the bat. I think that will help most of us. I think if we're not getting all the way there, there's another issue, and it's usually dietary. You might have an aversion to dairy and not realize it. You might be allergic to certain kinds of meats or processing chemicals. So if just eating keto doesn't help it, there may be more issues on the go. Okay, Brenda says, keto has changed my life. No more IBS. I have had weight loss surgery, which also helped, but keto cured me. And I would agree with that, Brenda. Like, my weight loss surgery helped. It really helped that. But I would say that keto is what cured my IBS. At the end of the day, my surgery helped, but keto is what cured that for me. I don't have those issues, but guys, I don't forget. Like, I swear to God to you, I don't forget. If it's you and you're suffering it right now, I want to tell you, I remember sitting on the toilet for 3 hours in pain and in tears and so much pain that it makes you throw up. And I want you to know that it doesn't have to be like that. You know, if you were me and you just don't know because you feel like that is your normal, everybody processes different, everybody goes through something different. I want you to know that you don't have to suffer like that. You really, really don't have to. You don't have to live a life where every single thing you put in your body makes you sick. So, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to get emotional about it, but it really was a very long time. And I'm honestly so grateful to not suffer like that every day. I think every day I wake up and I reflect on my old life and I think, how did I ever convince myself that how I lived was normal, that how I suffered was normal? Because IBS, that was there, but I had other issues too. You know, I didn't sleep. I had PCOS. I know I did. I was never diagnosed with that, but now that I know enough about PCOS, I know there isn't any way I didn't have it. Like, I had every single symptom that you can have, from I was morbidly obese to I had cysts and all of that all over the place all the time, super period painfuls, erratic, sporadic periods, all of the things that are linked. I just never was diagnosed with that. Those are also issues I don't have anymore. I get a regular period every month that is a regular normal duration, and it comes and goes exactly like it should with minimal pain. So that is also something that I would say definitely keto helped me with, because man, it was bad. I'm so glad. Like, Brenda, how happy are you that that is in your past? Like, that you can look back on it not so fondly and say, dear God, how did I live through that? Like, when I look back on it now, I think I didn't have my surgery until, let's see, Isaac was 13 and he's 20 now, almost 21. So I was in my late 30s when I had my surgery, and I had lived that way my whole life. Like 30 years of crying and throwing up when you poop. Like, and I'm going to say this. Do you know how much pain you have to be in to throw up from pain? Like, that is it's a really lot of pain. Like, there are not a lot of pains in the world that cause you to throw up. IBS is one of them. And the fear of, you know, having to always have a garbage can with you. And in public, those garbage cans are never big enough. Like, I'm just going to say, the teeny little garbage can they give you never works. Well, hello from Kentucky. So let me scroll and see if you guys have any other questions. I know there's a lot of people just kind of starting. So if we want to talk, you know, some beginners keto basics, we can do that too. Beginners always want to know about intermittent fasting. So if you guys want to talk about that, we can talk about that a little bit as well. And I want to see, I didn't make any notes or anything because I don't usually do that. But I was thinking, you know what, sometimes I make notes of things I want to talk about on lives that I didn't get to. So maybe I'll just take a quick spin through my book and see if there's anything that I had recently wanted to talk to you guys about that we didn't get around to talking to. These are my list of things that I'm supposed to do also. Yes. Oh, you know what? Let's talk about macros for a minute. We were having a really good discussion the other day about when you go into a macros calculator and it tells you how much you're supposed to eat. Because especially for people like me that have had a bariatric surgery, we can't eat as much food. So when you go into a macros calculator, it asks you some pretty basic information. It asks you your age, your height, your weight, your body mass index, how much weight you want to lose, how active you are, and then it calculates for you how much you should eat based on these things. But it doesn't take anything else into account. So it doesn't calculate in if you've had a weight loss surgery, if you're a small eater, if you're a large eater. It doesn't really take any of those things into effect. So when I had originally gone online to look at my macros, because again, guys, I started out like you did. I found keto by accident. I had no idea about it. And I went to Google and I started doing my research on my own and I figured it out. Everything from start to scratch. I had to figure it out because I didn't have anybody to teach me. Back then, I didn't know that there were Facebook groups. I didn't really use Facebook. I didn't know that there were groups for all kinds of things, and I certainly didn't know there were groups for keto. So when I went into the macros calculator, it told me that I was supposed to eat 1,600 calories a day. Now, I don't know a lot of things, but I knew I couldn't eat 1,600 calories a day. Like, I knew that. I knew that for me, that was a ridiculous amount. As soon as I heard that, I went, I will die. Like, I will literally die. I will literally burst in half. I cannot overeat like that. Overeating is so very painful. So I ran off to the groups and I said, okay, so my macros calculator says I need to eat 1,600 calories. I can't eat that much food. What happens if I can't eat all that food? And they were very, very confident in telling me that if I couldn't eat that much food, I wouldn't lose weight. That these macros were goals, they were a target, and I was told to imagine like that big hammer thing where you hit the bell, and every day you must hit each of those macros or you won't lose weight. You're not to go over, you're not to go under. Every single day you are to, like a bell, ding, 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 and hit your exact macros every day. And I knew right away I couldn't do that. And I tried to explain to people, I can't do that. I've had surgery and I can't eat that much food. And they said to me, well, then keto's not for you. Sorry, it's not for you. If you can't eat 1,600 to 2,000 calories a day, then keto is not for you. And maybe you should do something else. And I was like, but how could it not be for me? It's just healthy eating. Like, it's healthy eating. It's clean eating. It's high fats. So I eat this way all the time already. Anyways, I already know I live and survive off of a small amount of surgery, like small amount of food. So why couldn't that food be keto? So I decided, you guys don't get to tell me, and I will figure it out myself. And I set about figuring out my macros in kind of an odd way. Although, oddly, everyone I explain it to, they understand it and it makes sense to them. And even Dr. Ken Berry said I was a genius. Just saying. Thanks, Dr. Ken. Thanks, Dr. Ken. And this is what I did. So I got myself a tracker, and I decided, instead of trying to hit my imaginary goals of 70, 25 at 1,600 calories a day, that what I would do is I would keep in mind my percentages. So I knew I wanted to be 70% fat, 20% protein, 5% carbs. So instead of keeping in mind the 1,600 goal, I let that go entirely. And I kept in mind my portions of food, and I started to track what I do eat, what I can comfortably eat. Now, I will say I did not limit myself and I did not deprive myself. I ate as much as I wanted, when I wanted, and I tracked that so that I could figure out not what everyone said I was supposed to eat, but what actually worked for me to eat. So I tracked everything I ate for 2 months. And at the end of 2 months, I sat down with my data, what I actually eat. How much protein did I eat? How much fats did I eat? How much carbohydrates did I eat? Now, the other things I took into account when I figured out my personal macros is that I don't process protein all that well. I've never been a big protein eater, and I would say that since my surgery, my protein amount stayed the same. So when I looked at all of my data and I looked at everything that had tracked, I realized I do in fact eat less protein than the 20%. What I eat comfortably is 14% protein. So I went into my tracker and I switched my protein from 20 to 4. Now, that did two things. When I lowered my protein slightly, it upped my fats slightly, and it also slightly increased my carbs. So the new macros that my calculator gave me was 80% fat, 14% protein, 6% carbohydrate. Now, 6% carbs sounds like more than 5%, but it's not. Because of how much I eat, 6% carbohydrate of my diet works out to 12 to 13 grams of carbs a day. So well below the 20. But what I realized from that is because I was eating slightly less protein, that is why I needed that little bit more fat, that teeny little bit more carbohydrate. And that's how I went about figuring out my macros. So when I recommend to people figuring out their macros, if you go and you look them up and you know in your heart, because you know what you eat, you know what's good for you. If you know those macros by the computer, for the computer, that are exactly, same. If you know that's not for you, then figure out what works for you. And that's the way you do it. You track what you eat, keep in mind your portions, your percentages, and then have a really good, honest look at what you eat and what works for your body. We're all going to go in different directions in keto. We all kind of start at the beginner block, right? Like, we're all at the beginner block, but there's so many different ways to keto. Some people super strict keto. Some people don't want to track. And I don't like calling it lazy or dirty keto. It's not lazy. It's not dirty. It's still keto. It's still keto. But not everybody wants the pressures of tracking. I don't track. Some people weigh absolutely everything that they eat down to the ounce. I don't do that. I stick to keto foods. I stick to the things I know I can eat. And then I don't panic about the exact specifics, right? Like, I just go with the flow then. I get to have fun. I get to just enjoy my food. And, I once, months and months ago, I did a video where I talked about that. And I said, you know what? If you want to stress diet, if you want to count everything, if you want to calculate everything, if you want to panic about everything, you can do that. Do that. Like, by all means, do you. But in my group and on my page, we're going to hang out. We're going to have fun. We're going to laugh. We're going to joke. We're just going to make it everyday sustainable for us. Because I think if you take anything too seriously, if you take yourself too seriously, how do you maintain that for a forever, for a lifetime, right? When you live in the hole of I'll never have again, why not live in I just have fun and I enjoy? Brenda says, it's sad to think how much we missed in life because of IBS. I truly appreciate a lot of little things that other people take for granted. And we do. Like, man, I appreciate being able to sit down and have a cup of coffee and talk with you guys for an hour and not have to run off and go to the bathroom. I enjoy being able to plan my life and not have to be around my pooping schedule. Just say it. Pardon the pun, but it's shitty to plan your life around your poopy schedule. Oh my goodness. Okay, Karen wants to know, how can you tell you're in ketosis, and is being in ketosis important to losing? Okay, now there's a couple different things. Some people test, they'll get the test strips. Wendy and I talked about them. I don't really feel like they're accurate long term. They only measure if you're spilling ketones, not if you're burning them. And to be honest with you, being in ketosis is awesome, and it's the beginning. But being fat adapted is really what's going to help you. And even that doesn't guarantee weight loss. And I want to start off by saying that nothing guarantees weight loss. And I understand people think if I'm in ketosis, if I peed on the sticks and it says I'm in ketosis, I should be losing weight. But it's not really how it works. So when your body burns fat for fuel, ketones are a byproduct of that. So when your body is burning fat for fuel instead of sugars and carbs, ketones is what your body produces. So when you're expelling them from your body, then you assume that you are in ketosis, okay? Fat adapted, basically, there's a sciencey explanation. Let's skip that one. And let's just say that fat adapted really means you're not hungry all of the time. It means that your body has effectively switched fuel sources. So in the beginning, when you start keto, you'll feel like you're hungry all of the time. You're like, oh my God, I'm starving, I'm starving, I'm starving. Am I ever gonna lose weight eating this much food? I'm so hungry, I'm so hungry, I'm so hungry. But it's because your body is switching over from one fuel source to the other. And I want to tell you guys, if you fall off plan, you're going to find yourself in the same well again, where you're like, oh my God, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry. Why did eating off plan make me so hungry again? Because you've broken your ketosis, you've broken your fat adaptation, and you're basically starting from scratch again. So say, for example, you have a special occasion dinner and you're like, you know what, it's just the dinner. I'm gonna have my dinner. And then in the morning you're like, oh well, I'm not really prepared, I'm just gonna have the bagel. And then that rolls into a couple days or a week or a month of eating off plan. When you try to go back, you're gonna find yourself at that same, I'm starving, I'm starving, I'm starving. Why can't I feed myself enough? Why can't I get enough food in me? But once you start to adapt again and you start to effectively burn the fat, that's fat adapted. And really the way you tell is you're just not hungry all of the time. That's it. There is sciencey. I won't lie to you guys. I have people who love the science, do the science. It's not really my thing. For me, I need the basic understanding of how something works and why it works. I don't need all of the clinical explanations. But if you guys want to know more about that and the actual, breakdown, scientific explanation, then I think that would probably be a really, really great topic for us to talk to Dr. John Lemansky about. Because he pulls out the science that Dory doesn't understand, like nobody's business. We lie you, Dr. John. We lie you. He understands things that I just, man, do I not. So, I mean, the basics of that stuff, guys, I get it. I understand it. But once you get into the textbook explanation of that is this long, I start to blink and I start to go, we're going to talk about fun stuff again, right? Soon? That's just me. So let's see if anybody else has any questions here on Facebook. Well, hello, Miss Claudia. Claudia has an awesome Facebook group too called the Keto. I think that's how it's spelled. Awesome fun. Ooh, Michelle, she said she had her bypass in 2007 and still can't eat much. And that is us, guys. Like, honestly, it's average. The only people who had surgery who can eat a normal amount stretched out their stomachs. And I give them kudos because, man, you have got to be some dedicated to stretch out your stomach, because I only ever overate, I think 3 times in 7 years, and I learned my lesson, because holy man, overeating hurts even more than being hungry. And I'm gonna tell you guys a secret. When your brand new stomach is healing, it is so painful to be hungry. Like, the feeling of hunger is the most painful feeling in the world when your stomach is first starting to heal. And my ex never understood it. Like, I would be like, I need to eat right now. well, I'll cook you something. No, I don't have time. I don't have time for you to spend 20 minutes cooking something for me. You don't understand. I have to eat right now. The pain is intense. You have to eat right now. And that's something I had a really hard time getting over and healing from fun. Yeah, from pain. Sorry, I was reading that at the same time. It was a fun coffee. Oh, Michelle says the slider foods are what puts the weight back on, not the carbs. And what she means by slider foods is the foods that just slide right through you, right? Like the things that just absorb right through you and don't have any major nutrient. I watched a video called Butter Makes Your Pants Fall Off by Butter Bob. If you guys have not seen that one, it changed my life. Not because I wasn't already keto. I was already keto and I already 100% believed in keto when I saw that video. But what that video did for me was explain to me why I personally have an issue with carbs when lots of people don't. Like a lot of people can eat carbs and it does not bother them. And he explains about belly fat. If you store all of your weight and it's all here, then you don't process carbs. And my body has always been like that. At my biggest, I looked like I had, you know, the stomach tire and then the next tire and then the next tire, but I had, you know, thinner legs, thinner face, thinner the rest of me. I always literally carried all of my weight in my stomach. So when I watched that video, it really, really, really made me understand why. Why don't carbs work for me? And here's the thing. In my old life, and taking all of the advice from all the doctors around me, think about what our diet used to be. So my diet used to be moderate protein, low, super low fat, baby. I never ate anything with fat in it. I always bought things with extra, ultra low fat. No fat whatsoever. And realistically, I was eating a pretty high carb diet because people would say things to me like, oh, Dory, fill up on rice. Fill up on rice because it will expand in your stomach. Eat plain popcorn without any butter on it because it will expand in your stomach. Make sure you have a large, you know, portion of your staple potato, whatever, to pull you through. So on my plate would be half carb side, a quarter vegetable, and a quarter meat. And that's what I was eating. And that's why I continued to gain weight and gain weight and gain weight. And I did. I looked pregnant, Nanette. Like I did. I have pictures of me standing next to my 5-year-old son and I look pregnant. I always looked pregnant because I literally only carried my weight in my stomach. That was it. That was it. Stomach weight. All the way around. I had this big, gigantic, horrid, ugly stomach that I could not stand. And now my stomach still bothers me. I won't lie. It still bothers me. I've lost 145 pounds. I still don't have the body that I want. And you know what? One day I'm probably going to get my tummy tuck and my boob lift because I did not lose 145 pounds to still live in a body that I don't love. Intermittent fasting is helping. Autophagy is helping a lot. I've come further than I thought I would. But realistically, I don't know that diet and exercise alone will help what I've got going on. Like, I went from a 52 double H to a 36C. So really, I don't know that all the fasting in the world and all these exercises in the world are going to put my body where my body should be. And you know what? I know a lot of people feel, oh, that's like so bright. The light is shining. I don't know what to do about that. Look at that. I'm an angel. I don't know what happened to the lighting there on Instagram, and I can't seem to turn it so that you guys are not like, wow, in the light. I don't even know what that's reflecting off of, to be honest with you. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how to fix that, guys. I'm an angel. I don't know what to tell you. Look at me. I'm glowing. Okay, it's done now. The sun must have just been passing by us. That was so weird. See, that must have been a moment of inspiration. Just saying. Like, that was so weird, guys. I'm so sorry. That was so weird. Oh, and then it happens again. Oh, look, and it makes my eyes look blue when it's doing that. Yeah, I think it's the sun passing by in the clouds. It's so weird. On Facebook, you're totally missing it. It's so creepy, though. Like, I think I might even just flip you guys around on Facebook so you can, like, literally see how weird this is on Instagram right now. I don't know what's going on. Look at that. I look like a ghost. I'm spooky. It's Halloween and I'm spooky. I don't know. I don't know. The sun is going by. The window's doing what the window's doing. I can't help the window. Sorry, guys. Karen said, my sister said, I always looked like a pregnant grape with my legs and arms as strings. Yeah, girl, I've been there. Like, I used to joke around and say that I looked like a skinny girl riding a chicken. Because I did. Like, I had skinny arms, skinny legs, and I just, you know, like, yeah. Oh, Deborah says, that's how I know my guardian angels are sitting with me. And I love you, girl. And you know what? I will say this, and I don't often get spiritual on you guys because I don't usually do that. But I will say to you that everything that I have done in the keto world with my sharing, with my videos, it's inspired. I know it comes from the people who love me, who know that I need to share this with you guys. So there's a moment. There's a moment. My angels are with me. There's the moment. I have a few, I think. I have a few. But our biggest is my mother. My mother brought us all together, just so you guys know. Just so you know. Oh, and I feel sad, because if I had known, you know, about the ketogenic diet before my mom got really, really, really sick with cancer, we might have been able to help her better. And that is what that is. I carry that with me. But you don't know what you don't know, and I didn't know then. So now I get to share that with other people who don't know, and maybe it will help them. And you know what? If we literally, if it's painful and we have to share the most painful private parts of our lives and it helps only one person, then it's worth it, right? It's worth it. It's worth it. And I do. I love you guys so much. Hello, my Nancy. I'm having a moment. I love you. This is a perfect moment to realize Nancy's here and cheer me up. I'm so excited for you at the conference. Learn all the good stuff. And I know your brain is like totally exploding, but you're going to find people to translate it for us too. So we're on it. We're going to have so much fun. So today we're just chit-chatting basics, and mostly we talked about poop. Mostly we talked about poop. Yeah. Yeah, Nanette says that this way of eating has me wondering if her mother wasn't a type 1 or type 2 diabetic instead. And these are the things, like, I didn't know these things before I found keto. And it's amazing how many things have healed in my life that I didn't even realize were wrong with me, you know? And man, I'm fighting my mother's genetics too, Nanette. My mother had a heart attack, she had a stroke, she had diabetes, she had gout, she had a lot of issues. And she was not that old when she passed away. So these are things I had to take in account when I had my surgery. And that was, honestly, that was the clincher for me. Like, when I had my surgery, I realized that I was exactly 10 years away from my mother's first stroke. Like, my mother had her first stroke, and I was only 10 years away from that. Right? Nanette says her mother was 56 and she's 54 right now. And how healthy are you right now, Nanette? Like, I know that I'm healthier than I've been in my entire life. I have never been healthy like this. In high school, I wasn't healthy like this. And that is what will change in my life. And that's, you know, my mom was 70 when she passed away. My grandmother was younger than that when she passed away. Low bone density is also something that runs in my family. When my mother broke her leg, she was in her 50s, and the doctor told her she had the bone density of a 75-year-old woman in her 50s. So I know that low bone density is a big issue, and keto really helps with that as well. Nanette says she's not her healthiest yet, but she's trying. And you know what? You're getting there, girl. Every day you are fighting that battle. And I'm so, so proud of you, because you know what? In our old lives, we would have given up. Nanette, we would have given up. Let's be honest. In my old life, I never would have stuck to a diet for 6 months where I never lost weight. Are you kidding me? What's a diet for if you're not losing weight? Like, really? But keto made me feel healthy and happy and stable and whole, aside from weight loss. It helped with my depression. Like, I have dealt with depression, guys, my whole life. I even got a proper diagnosis when I was in my 20s, where you go to an actual psychiatrist and they sit down and they do a full diagnosis. And they diagnosed me with dysthymia, which is, it's just low-grade, long-term, non-treatable depression. They just describe it as depression that is ingrained into your personality. You don't have the highs and lows that you would have in a manic depression. It just seems to be an all the time. Like, they describe it as just a cloud of depression that hangs on you at all times, and it just never goes away. The psychiatrist told me that in really, really, really dark times of depression, that medication may help, but on a regular basis, medication is not the answer for me. I do not have an imbalance. There is no chemical imbalance in my life that causes depression. Situational depression is different than my dysthymia. Dysthymia is just there all of the time. But I will say that since my keto, I don't feel that. I just don't always feel that overwhelming feeling of dread that I always felt. And it was constant. Like, it was constant from the moment I woke up until the moment I went to sleep, until I tossed and turned in bed for hours because I couldn't sleep. I always felt sad. I always felt like something was not quite right in me, where other people could be happy and they could process emotions. I never seemed to have that filter right from childhood. I never seemed to understand how to take in an emotion and just process it. Everything overtook me so strong. And I mean, in the sense that as a child, I really couldn't get very into books or movies because the feelings in them would overcome me so strongly that I didn't understand how to process. And really, in my 20s, when I came to that diagnosis, basically he just said, you got to learn how to deal. You got to learn how to deal. You got to learn how to process. You have to do this. You have to learn it. And I was, at the time, my son was small, and I wouldn't say that I had suicidal thoughts, because after he was born, I stopped having suicidal fantasies, because, oh guys, don't judge me. We all do it. When you're really, really sad and depressed, you have like literally suicidal fantasies where you imagine, what would happen if, the world is better off without me anyways. What would really happen if I was gone? And after my son was born, I stopped doing that. And I think out of a motherly obligation, right? Then all of a sudden you feel bad. I couldn't leave my child behind. I couldn't do that to them. But my desire to be dead didn't stop. I stopped fantasizing self-harm, but then I started imagining accidental things, right? Because then that wouldn't be my fault, and I wouldn't have been the selfish one who left him behind, but I could still just be done, because every day was just, it was so hard. I didn't want to get up and function every day. I didn't want to anymore. Life seemed so hard and so sad every day, and I just didn't want to. So my doctor sent me. He said, you have to, like, this is it. Like, we can't just, you know, keep giving you antidepressant after antidepressant that doesn't help. We need to figure out what's actually wrong with you. And at the end of the day, what was wrong with me is something that's just internal, you know. Medication isn't going to help it. And over the years, I've learned to process better, much, much better than when I did when I was younger. I'm going to say, if you guys have teenagers going through this, it is the worst as a teenager. It's the worst. I'm just going to quick share this. We got kicked off of Instagram because we're taking too long. So I'm just going to sign them back in for a minute because I think we're almost done, but let's just do it again. We'll just bring them back. So, there we go. Okay, so even though I hadn't intended to go over an hour, clearly we have, because Instagram has kicked us out. But I got you guys back, so when you guys come back in, you're back in. Okay, so let's use that moment to cruise. We hit our hour vengeance, so I hadn't intended to go this long, but we are. So, Kathy says, my family genetics are awful too. My mom died at 55, CHF, dad at 62 from lung cancer, diabetes, thyroid issues, high blood pressure, all runs in the family. And you know what? You are not unusual. So many of us, we just got like the really shitty end of the genetic stick. Now, I would say, look into getting your genetic testing done. Go on to 23andMe and get the full, you have to get the full testing. The other one just gives you like your origin and stuff. The other one will give you your full genetic breakdown. Go get that done because that might really, really help you in figuring out what exactly you're dealing with and what you're predisposed to. And it will tell you everything under the sun and some things you won't even understand. So, but I would recommend doing that. And ladies, I'm so sorry for you too when your family passed of cancer. Cancer is, I think, the worst. It's honestly the worst way to have someone that you love go. Okay, Karen says, let me expand on that one because it's a big one. My sister died of cancer. 7 months later, my sister died of sepsis. 3 months later, my brother died, of diabetes. 15 days later, I found out my husband was having an affair. Oh, dear God, lady. Divorced. 6 months later, my mom died of cancer. Major depression set in, gaining so much weight. Today, so sad, but I'm getting better. I love you, lady. I love you, Karen Jean. And you know what, girl? How amazing are you to come through all of those things in one piece? You know, it might be slightly shattered and broken pieces, but you are here and you are with us and you are doing it every single day. And every day we are getting closer, right? We're getting closer to a happier, healthier us. And all of these things we need to learn, right? Like, nobody teaches you these things in school. Nobody teaches you about emotions and depression and how to deal with tragedy. Because you know what? How do you even do it? Because for me, I felt like, how dare the world go on? How dare it? How dare the world just continue to move on when I'm so sad and my mom is gone? And the sun still comes up and the birds still sing and everybody still functions and you just start to feel so hollow and empty on the inside. And it's like every bit of happiness outside just echoes how empty you are on the inside. And that was my start. That was how I started gaining weight because I didn't know how to handle my mom being gone. I still don't. But I have to every day get up and do what I do and take care of my brother because that's what she would want and share with you guys because I know that's what she wants. I know it. Like, I know it. I know that what I'm doing now is 1,000,000,000,000% what my mother wants for me. And I think the other day we were going to talk about inspiration and what keeps me going. And truthfully, at the end of the day, it's that. It's that. I know that I'm doing what my mother wants for me to do. So when I come across somebody who doesn't understand what I do or doesn't appreciate what I do, and, you know, they don't like my way and they want to burn me down, I remember that what I'm doing for her and for you guys and for me, because through this process, I'm learning and I'm healing and I'm growing to be a better person with you guys. Like, when I first started doing the keto videos, watch them. You can see my sadness. You can feel it. And that changed. And you guys helped me change that. You guys helped me change that. Kathy specifically, I love my Kathy Pocket Heese, specifically helped me change that. Because I realized when my mother died, I started taking from myself the small joys and the small things that I loved, because happiness, I didn't deserve it anymore, right? So I started slowly peeling away from my life, honestly, all of the things that made me me, you know, all of the things that my mother loved about me. In my sadness, I gave them up. In my sadness, I gave up all the things that my mother was most proud of me for being. She loved my happiness. She loved my joy. She loved that I danced in the kitchen. She loved my silly. She loved my joking. She loved that I would talk to anybody and that I could make friends like that with any stranger. These are the things that my mother loved about me most. And in my sadness, I lost those things. And finding keto and learning to be happier. I mean, I'm not any less sad that my mom is gone, but learning how to deal and learning how to heal and sharing that with you guys it's changed my life. It really has changed my life. I am not the person I was a year ago, and I owe that to you guys. I do, because sharing it with you, having you understand and accept and love me, even though these are the things we're all afraid to say out loud, has changed me. It's made me stronger. It's made me more confident. It's just made me stronger. You guys have just really made me a stronger person than I ever thought I could be. Because you know what? I think you find your strength when you find someone to share it with. You know, that's truly when you realize how strong you are, when someone is relying on you to give that strength to them, to share that light with them. And my whole life, I've always kind of been that sort of person. You know, there are a lot of kinds of people in the world. I honestly, I would describe myself as, I've been described as a beacon of light. And that's because I see the light in other people, and I encourage them to share that. If you have a light in you and there's something inside of you that burns inside of you to share, that's always been my gift, is to find that in people and to help them share. And I think there are two kinds of people in this world, and there are people who understand that, and there are people who don't. For example, when I go into other groups, which I don't do much anymore, I only participate in groups that I'm invited to participate in. But when I was beginning, I would share my stuff in other groups, because you don't know, right? Like, you're trying to get content out there. You're just trying to share it somewhere. And at that time, you know, I had a group, but I had 20 people in my group, and I didn't have a public page yet. So I was like, okay, well, I've made these, you know, really awesome videos. I'd like to share them. And when you go out into groups to share, they don't always like it. They don't always like it, because they think that you're out to steal their thunder, right? Like, this is their group. They built this. They're teaching people. They're teaching people their way. And if you're coming into their group and you're posting your videos, you're self-promoting, you're trying to steal their thunder. And, you know, that's how that goes. And I understand it, but that's not my way. It's not my way. Like, you can't steal somebody's light. You can't steal it the way you can steal thunder. You can absorb light through somebody and you can share that through, but you can never really steal it from somebody. So I guess I've never really worried about somebody stealing my thunder. So when somebody's like, oh, Dory, you big fat thunder stealer, I'm like, but I don't understand. I don't run off thunder. How could I steal yours? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And that's a hard one that you guys are going to come across too. Man, it's a fine line. That's a difficult one. Self-promotion, right? Self-promotion. Nobody likes it when anybody self-promotes. Nobody likes it when anybody self-promotes. But how else do you get content out there? How else do you find a following? Because in the beginning, you don't have people to share your content. When I met Dr. Ken Berry 10 months ago, Dr. Ken Berry was struggling to share his own content. When I met him, he was like, I don't understand, Dory. If you share my video, then you're a hero and a queen of the world. And if I share my own video in a group, I'm a self-promoting, trying to get rich jerk. I don't understand. How else are you supposed to get content out there? How do you do it? I don't know. I got kicked out of a lot of groups for self-promotion. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. You don't like my videos. You don't want my videos. You don't want my content. You have rules against self-promotion. Okay, fair enough. But when you make the decision, hey, I'm a nobody and I'm going to, I'm just going to make videos and help people. How do you get content out there to do that? Right? There's the main question. Now, the first time that happened to me, I was 3 days fresh. I had just made my first video. I was really, really excited, and I posted it on to 3 or 4 keto groups because that's all I was in at the time. And I thought to myself, oh my God, I'm so excited. You know what? People are going to see my videos. People are going to, watch my videos. 2 of the groups that I posted it on, every post requires admin approval. So I thought, if they don't want my content, they won't post it. Right? So I crossed my fingers, I posted it, and I waited to see if it posted through to a group, which it did. They posted it. And then they sent one of their moderators to mean comment me in the feed and egg me on and be mean to me and pick on me. Because I was promoting in their group without their permission. And they decided that the video I made was stupid. I mean, none of them watched it. But they decided as a mod group that my video was stupid and people didn't like it and people didn't want to watch it and that I just really shouldn't do what I was doing. So they decided to make it their personal mission to, discourage me to the point where I just would stop doing. But I will tell you guys, they also branded me. And they branded me for life, I believe. And I took it and I ran with it. Because what these awesome ladies, very much like high school ladies, what they decided is behind my back, without watching any of my videos, never seeing any of my content, deciding that it was garbage based on title and duration of video, they started to call me Dory, Unicorn Sparkle Poop Lady. And look at who I am today. Dory, Unicorn Sparkle Poop Lady. Oh my God, I love it. Like, it makes me laugh, right? Like, and genius in their branding too. Like, I don't think they ever thought that they were giving me something good or funny. Like, they really thought they were being mean calling me Dory Unicorn Sparkle Poop Lady. And really, at the end of the day, who am I? I am Dory Unicorn Sparkle Poop Lady. Hear me roar. And that was the first time that somebody came along and tried to burn me down. But it wasn't the last. It was just the first. It was only the first. I would say, guys, I love the keto community. Like, man, I love you guys. I love the groups. I love the keto community. But I'm going to say on the other side of that, like the side that you guys don't see. I mean, I know you guys see the mean groups, but you don't know what's going on in them behind the scenes. I would say on the flip side of how amazing our keto community is, I have been bullied more in this last year than my entire life. Because people are mean. Mean. Like, really, really mean. And I have encountered quite a few people along the line that don't care for what I do. And that's okay, right? Like, not everybody is going to be my style. I am not going to be everybody's cup of tea. I'm different. Like, you know, I'm not mainstream. I'm niche. I'm niche. I have a unique style, unique kind of people like what I do. I'm not going to be for, you know, everybody on the street. Not everybody's going to like what I do. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Because I feel like the people that I do reach, we truly have a connection, right? Like the people that reach out to me on my group, on my page, who message on my personal profile, who message me on Instagram, we form a true, real connection. And by being mainstream and being, you know, the somebody that everybody wants to watch, you don't really get to develop those honest, truthful connections with the people that you're meeting. So, you know what? I'll never be mainstream. I'll never be, you know, probably keto big name, but I'm okay with that because what I do is different and what we share together is different, right? Well, and that's it, right? Patty, people are especially mean online because they don't have to see you. They don't have to see your face. You're not a real person to them. Right? Online, you're not a real person. And that's something I don't really understand because I did not grow up in a big computer age. Like computers, online chatting, stuff like that was relatively new as I was growing up. So in my world, I think, why would you not behave like you would in real life? Like, why would you treat somebody differently than you would in person? Because I guarantee you, nobody would walk up to somebody in person and say those horrible things. And if they did, somebody would certainly say, wow, that is hella inappropriate. Hella inappropriate, right? Like, somebody would certainly tell them. You would hope so. Oh, hello, Lorraine Ward. She said, I joined group a few days ago, but got off because they were not my people. Oh, and that's it, right? Like we go into groups and we just don't know, right? Like I didn't know enough about Facebook groups to understand how they worked. So when I first started, this is what would happen. I would go into a group and I would kind of lay low for a couple of weeks and just see what posts came up. You know, see what people are talking about, see what they're commenting on, see how they react to each other. You know, if somebody asks a question, are people helpful? Are they kind? Are they jumping all over them? Are they saying things like, wow, were you ever stupid? As soon as that happens, I out of that group. But when we sometimes go in, some of us in the beginning, we don't know any better, right? Like we hop into a group and we're like, hi, I'm so-and-so. I have a question. You know, can you have organic coconut sugar on keto? And then it lights up. It lights up and there's 100 people telling you that you're the stupidest person on the planet because, you know, it's sugar. And I did that mistake. I made that mistake. I was like, it's organic and it's coconut. And he says right on the package, it's only 4 grams of sugar per tablespoon instead of 16. And man, did I get shredded. It was ugly. There was blood in the water and the sharks were a-coming. Like, holy man, I got called more names. Oh God, so many names. And why would people do that? Like, why would they even call you names? Like, for not understanding something. Nanette says, my own son says, shut up when I try to tell people and share people. share with people, and that's it, right? Like, we all have to be okay with sharing our story and just getting it out there. Oh, I love you, Kathy. Kathy says, I get more information from you than any other keto group I'm in. I love you, lady. Oh, Luann, I love your integrity too. You know, I really love that what we honestly share with each other is truthful, right? Like, there are a lot of places you can go and you can be like, oh, everything's perfect. Everything's fantastic. I never eat off plan. I never go off plan. I never have any problems. Oh, dear God, I never even poo. But to actually have somewhere where you can be like, you know what, it's just real. It's just us. And we just do us, right? That to me is an amazing, amazing, amazing experience. Nanette says, I gather info from many, but certainly enjoy Dory's realistic layman's terms to teach us. And you know what? There are a lot of amazing, amazing groups. And I network with some really, really amazing groups. And if you guys have noticed, we're pretty tight-knit, the groups that work together, because we have each other's back. We all have the same goal. You know what? We see keto the same way. It's realistic. It's everyday. It's sustainable. We're literally just out there trying to share with you guys everything that we can. But I'm going to tell you a secret. You need somebody to circle up with and have your back, because it really is like navigating bloody waters to be out there just trying to share content with you guys and just saying, you know what, hey, this is who I am. If you want to share your story with me, I am here. And it's brutal difficult to just get out there and do that. So, you know what, with the groups that I love, we share the same vision. We're out there. We're out there for you guys. We are standing back to back to back so that we can all have each other's backs, and we're all looking for the best information, and we're pooling it together and bringing it to you guys. And that's what you have to do in your lives too, to find your support. You know what? Find who's going to have your back. Find who's going to be with you, and you stand back to back with them, and you take on the world. Because we can't all watch our own backs all the time, and we need that, right? Oh, Miss Christelle. And girls, she is doing it. She is out there getting the word out, helping people understand, you know, keto and how it helps with epilepsy, and more than just that, you know, helping people understand that keto can change your life every single day. And I'm just telling them, Christelle, how we have to pick the people who are with us and stand back to back to back and take on the world, because it's so hard to get information out there and to share it. And, you know, everybody, I get it. Everybody's like, oh, don't self-promote. Self-promote is ugly. And, you know, nobody likes a self-promoter. But until you get yourself a following, self-promotion's all we all got, baby. That's all we all got. You know, we're getting out there. We're trying to put our content out there so you guys can share it and have it and share it with the people that you love. So, you know what? Let's get back to back, guys, and get out there and start sharing. Circle up with the people you love who share your vision, and then we're not fighting the battle by ourselves one-on-one, right? Not one-on-one. We'll never change the world that way. We gotta circle up. It's time. Link arms. Find the people around you who are strong, who share your vision, and it's time. It's time for keto to hit mainstream, guys. It really is. This is something that everybody needs, and it's really time for us to share it, because there is so much bad information and misinformation out there that we really, really, really need to get the truth out there. I noticed yesterday, did you know that the latest diet miracle pill, they actually called it keto? Not keto something, not keto anything else. Capital Keto. It's the new miracle pill. You can take it and you're going to lose weight, and it's going to be awesome, and you're going to be in ketosis, and you don't need to do anything else, and you don't have to eat healthy, and you don't have to anything. And this is what we are battling every single day, guys. This is what we battle. This is why people don't understand that keto is not a fad diet. It is a sustainable, healthy way to live our lives. And you know what? The advertisers, they've got the money. They've got the power. They have it in their pocket. And to fight that, all we have is us. That's it, guys. We don't have the multi-billion-dollar budget that they have to put out there and say this stuff is great. This newest miracle weight loss pill is being funded by the Shark Tank to the tune of $2.5 million. How do we battle that kind of advertising? We do it together. We do it every day, side by side, back to back, arm in arm. And we get out there in full force and we let people know this is not a fad. This is the way that we love to eat. This is a healthy way to be. This is not a miracle cure. This is not an instant, eat good for 5 days, lose 20 pounds. And yes, obviously we're making a difference, right? Would the diet pills brand our way of living if they didn't know that people want keto? Keto is the hot word right now. It is the buzzword. Everybody's after it. And you know it because look at the marketing go nuts. Weight Watchers now has keto products. They're starting to just name the diet products straight on keto. And the reason why I noticed it is because an article comes up. So the article talks about the amazing benefits of a ketogenic diet. But everywhere it's highlighted keto, keto, keto. And when you click on keto, I'm going to show you guys what it leads to. Because you're not going to believe it. I was like, are you actually kidding me right now? I was appalled. I was like, what? It was just a feed that I followed. It was a video. I was like, oh, that looks like a fun video. I'm going to go check that out. And it was a great article that talked about the benefits of a ketogenic diet and all of the research that's been done about a ketogenic diet. But everywhere it said the word keto, it linked to this. Brand new keto fat burner. Brand new, amazing keto fat burner. Limited quantities. Ship my order fast now. What? And it says right on there, burn fat for energy, not carbs. New powerful formula. Triggers fat burning ketosis. Melts fat fast. I can't imagine how much it costs, but it's definitely not the ketogenic diet that the article was talking about. So as these things float around, it's going to get harder and harder and harder for us to explain what this is. And honestly, this is why now is the time. And that's why I feel the urgency around it. Because as this more marketing floods the market, right, it terrifies me. It literally terrifies me to think, wait for the influx in the groups. In 6 months, you're going to have people in your groups who say, oh, no, I'm keto. I take that pill thing. I'm keto. Don't you tell me I don't do keto. I take that pill. I'm keto. I'm keto AF. And people don't understand that that's not what it is. I mean, there are good keto products out there. There are some that will help with medical situations. I don't believe that's what they're advertising. I really don't. And I know it's legit because I watched the video and they did a demonstration where they poured liquid on fat and fat disappeared. So, it's the next miracle pill, the same one we bought. Remember the fat blockers that everybody bought? Remember those? Oh God. And the warning on that said may cause anal leakage, and people still bought that. I'm just putting that out there. Do you remember the warning on fat blockers said this product may cause anal leakage, and people still bought it? And this is what we battle, right? Like, people will buy these things and they will think that they are being healthy. Yeah, SlimFast. SlimFast has keto products now too. SlimFast and Weight Watchers, they're all getting on board. But here's the funny thing. What was it? 6 months ago, 8 months ago, when Dr. Ken Berry did his video called Keto is the Worst Diet Ever, a study had come out, and they had 30 medical experts, experts study every kind of diet, and they ranked the keto diet the worst diet. And guess what they ranked number 1? Guess. Oh dear God, guess. Does anybody guess? Does anybody know? Do you remember that? Oh my dear God, Weight Watchers. Weight Watchers. They rated the number 1 effective weight loss was Weight Watchers. And the least effective is keto. And their excuse for that was it is not sustainable. Keto is not sustainable. Nobody likes it long enough or sticks to it long enough to do a study on it. And I believe that that is false. I believe that that is 1,000,000% false. And I agree with you, Kinsey. And I think that Weight Watchers is the worst. It's the worst. I never personally did Weight Watchers. I never bought into their program. I did a lot of different weight loss programs. I did not buy into theirs. But all of these weight loss programs are super, super expensive too. Like, they're ridiculous expensive. One I did do, because I had weight issues all the way back when, guys, in high school at 15 years old, I did the Dr. Lefebvre diet for a bit. And his diet is not bad, actually. It's really not. I would have to look at the macronutrients to look at what it's like in comparison for keto. I do remember eating carbs, but it was a lot of proteins. So when I was on Dr. Lefebvre, I was on 1,500 calories a day plus 3 protein supplements a day. And it was expensive because the protein supplements were really, really expensive. You would go for your weekly weigh-in and they would give you your next week's recipes, which was really nice. You got to have your recipe binder and you got to have, you know, your check-in with the doctor and your weigh-in and everything every week. And that was nice. But it was really, 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 really expensive. And I was in high school and I wasn't committed and I didn't lose any weight. And it was a waste of my sister's money to send me. And that's it. Carol says that keto is the only diet that addresses issues of hunger, sugar, carb addiction, all of those things, and fat is the key. And you know what? Fat is what we were told was the demon, right? Fat makes you fat. Fat makes you fat. If you eat fat, you're going to die. You're going to have high cholesterol. You're going to have a heart attack. You're going to have a stroke. Fat is going to make you fat. And that was honestly the hardest thing I had wrapping my brain around. When I tell you guys I didn't lose weight for the first 6 months, a good portion of that is because I was leery to add the fat. Like, I was like, oh, well, you know, I'm totally going to keto, but maybe not that much fat. And my fiance was like, you know what, I think it sounds like a really good idea. It sounds really healthy, but maybe not all that fat, honey. I'm worried about your health. So I fell into that where I was like, oh yeah, I'm keto, but I wasn't, because I wasn't eating high fat. I was really kind of, if it fits your macros, low carb back then. I just thought I was keto AF, just saying. I wasn't, but I thought I was. So when people told me in groups that I wasn't, I was very offended. I am so keto. Oh my God, you don't even know how keto I am. Whatever, you shut up. But I wasn't. I wasn't. And Teresa's right. These weight loss companies make billions, and that's why they have the big money to advertise, right? They make it. They've got it. They can turn it around and make it into more money. And all they have to do is get on and say, you need this. You have to have this. This is the new miracle. You will never be successful if you don't have this. And then they get their influencers out there. And they're out there and they're saying, you got to have this. You can't be successful if you don't have this. You're not even keto if you're not taking this pill. You might think you're keto, but you're not really keto unless you're taking our pills. So we have a big, hard battle against us, guys. And I think every day it's going to get a little bit harder. So the sooner we start getting the real information out there, the easier it's going to be. Because I think every day it blows my mind the sheer amount of misinformation I see. And now it's showing up in the tabloids, right? Oh, new turbo keto, lose 8 pounds every week. New super power fast turbo keto, lose 20 pounds in 3 weeks. And it's coming at us from every single angle. And the only way we fight that is to power up with the people we know who know better and get out there and start telling people. And we all have to do that. It's literally our obligation. When you know something is going to make a difference, how do you not share that? And I get it. It's hard. You will get flack. I won't lie to you. If you go out all like Dory style and start sharing up all over your page, you might get flack. You might have people from junior high school who curse you out. But do you really care what those people think? Really? Like, honestly, the people on your page who are going to complain about the things that you're posting, they're not your people, and you're not meant to help them. They're not. Like, I won't lie, I blast my personal page like it's a keto page. I think people comment more on my personal page than they actually do even on my public page. And I don't care. I don't care. I encourage it. If you guys want to comment on my personal page, you do it. You do it. I don't care. Ask me questions there. Send me pictures there. Comment there. I don't care. Flood my people. I don't care. And you know what? So many people in my actual life have come to me and said, oh my God, Dory, I started doing keto because I saw your videos. You know, I saw this or I saw that. And literally everything from people I went to junior high with to people I worked with 7 years ago to my family members have reached out and said, you know, hey, Cousin Dory, can you help me out with the keto? So don't be afraid to put it out there. Just put it out there. If you believe it, if you feel it, people will understand that you're sharing what you honestly believe, and they're not going to feel like you're preaching at them. You know, nobody's going to go and be like, hey, have you heard the good word of keto? I'm not saying, oh God, my dog thinks somebody's at the door now. That was me knocking, dog. Yeah, come here. Come say hi. Yeah, she thinks somebody's at the door now. That was super smooth of me. That was so smooth of me. Just come here, dog. There's no one at the door. Come see. Come say hi to the people. Come say hi. Come here, Kai. Come say hi. Come up. Come climb up and say hi. Come say hi. Come say hi to the people. Yeah, you're a pain in the butt, you are. Yes, you are. I'll flip you guys around on Facebook so you can see what a pain in the butt she's being. Hello, dog. Come say hi. See, now she doesn't want to say hi. She's a bag. I don't even know what to tell you. She's just a bag. In 5 seconds, she'll go head in her bowl and drink like a cow because she really loves that too. Yeah, so that's all. I guess we're going to tie that up. We really only planned to hang out for half an hour. We've hung out for like an hour and a half this morning. But at the end of the day, guys, that's my message. Help us share it. You know, let's get out there. Let's do it. Let's share it together. And you know what? The stronger we are together, the easier it will be to get this information out there. Share it. Share it everywhere you can. And I'm out there sharing it everywhere I can. And that's what we do. Right, guys, that's what we do. When you find something you love, when you find information you love, if you find new keto products that you love, share them in group, share them on my page, share them on my public page, and let's get the information out there because truthfully, as cheesy as it sounds, together we are stronger, and together ain't nobody can bring us down, baby. Nobody can bring us down. Even the advertising companies with the billions and billions and billions of dollars. If we all stand up and hold hands together and say, we don't believe it and we ain't buying it, then people will stand behind us and they will say, we ain't believing it and we ain't buying it. Because I don't know about you guys, but I'm done. Like I am so done buying all of the garbage that we have been sold our whole lives. I'm done. I ain't buying it anymore. So I ain't buying it anymore. If you guys ain't buying it anymore, then let's stand up and let's tell the big boys, we ain't buying it anymore. We ain't buying it anymore. Oh, I love you guys. And I hope that you have an amazing day. And just remember, if you have to go out your door and you need to shout at the top of your lungs, I ain't buying it anymore. I ain't buying it. I love you guys, and we'll hang out later this afternoon. Let's make pecan brittle. Let's give it a try. I love you, darlings. We will see you this afternoon.